So we're starting out with a basic tutorial that you can download from GNU website itself. And we're just deleting the basic signal input they used, and we're going to use our own through the SDR radio instead. And so here's me just straightening up the background, trying to get the blocks in the right order that's kind of readable. But I'll post a link to it in the description so that way you can follow along if you want to do this yourself. If not, just stay tuned. I'll get to the exciting stuff in just a moment. So for this part, you can just pull a RTL SDR source or whatever is applicable to your SDR. I'm using the Newelec NESDR Smart for this portion, but then I do eventually switch over to the BladeRF shortly after this. But basically, I'm just going to set up this first demo to make sure it works, the recording process works based on the tutorial. So that's just this verification. I go through the settings, pretty much leaving everything default here. So here I am just changing the frequency to the variable. That way it's easier to specify later, and it's all consolidated in one place. Additionally, you can see I'm changing the default value, which is going to be the initial frequency for the sync later, the GUI sync. So that's where it's going to start at, which I think it should be a radio station. And unfortunately, if it's music, I'll have to cut it out. So there's the IQ recorder. You can see that there it is picking up the radio station. Unfortunately, I couldn't play the audio. I didn't have it hooked up yet. So I do fix that in a few seconds, but it does record the IQ data overall, and you can have a little recording note. Side note for that, you need to press enter. I think it does say that on the tutorial on GNU radio. All right, so here I changed up the file path a little bit, and then you can see the rerunning, and then I try another recording note, but don't press enter. I just click off of it, so make sure you press enter if you want to record the note. I just recorded a quick snippet to verify it works. So it did send it to the right location again, but yeah, no note still. All right, so here I added in the rational resampler and the wideband frequency modulated receive, and then to the audio sync so you can actually hear the audio. Unfortunately, the radio station was playing music, so that kind of sucks. Had to edit it out for YouTube, but it does work. And then again, I try to rename the recording note, but it doesn't work. So anyway, it does record. You can adjust the RX gain, the frequency, and bandwidth at the bottom if you choose to. Again, up to you, user preference. All right, so jumping ahead a little bit, this is the actual BladeRF hooked up to it. As you can see, I'm using the Osmocom source instead of the RTL SDR. It's kind of similar setup, only you can see the frequency versus gain plot and then the waterfall as well. So the record switch is at the bottom now, and the recording note's there. So a little bit of change on the GUI, but again, you can change that however you'd like. So I will provide this file in the description, to have a link to my GitHub or something like that. Skipping ahead a little bit, I had to change the sample rate. It sounded really distorted when I finally got a channel locked in. So if you're going to end up doing this, make sure you have the correct sample rate. I think I ended up changing that in the variable setting itself instead of via the GUI. So it actually makes sense having a separate dedicated variable instead of trying to play around for a while. So if you know the sample rate, just change it there. Otherwise, you can experimentally find it through the GUI. After hitting the record button, I realized I didn't have a file sync, so the file didn't save correctly. So I copied it from the other RTL SDR recorder and instead used that. So hopefully, well, actually, it did work this time, so you'll see that in just a sec. But I redo it, re-record it, and actually get some of that audio. That's actual audio dialogue instead of music.
Forklift operators, apply today. KTH offers excellent benefits, including medical, dental, and 401k. KTH is a short drive from Bellefontaine, Troy, Piqua, and Urbana. Upgrade your career and be valued by a company that really cares about you. Apply now at kth.net, equal opportunity employer.
So here's the file. It actually did save. It shows the sample rate, the gain, and the frequency. So saved how it should. All is well. Then here is the transmission part of the BladeRF system. So I'm just going through all the different options. I don't think I really change anything here. I just kind of leave it default. And then I swap over onto another computer with the RTL SDR to view the transmission. So here it is on the RTL SDR. I'm just kind of playing around, trying to find the correct settings so I can hear it correctly and reposition the antenna because it's kind of a weak signal. I haven't really played around all the way to find the maximum signal strength for transmission. So still work in progress. So if you're interested in the project and seeing it fully develop into the ARMA spectrum analyzer / DERFM type of equipment, then hey, hit that subscribe button and like, and please leave a comment if you're interested. But I'm going to work on actually building a physical prototype next, connecting it all using a Raspberry Pi. So hopefully it'll all work out. But yeah, see you in the next one.